and profiles they use. Let's bring in John Schindler, security consultant and former NSA counterintelligence officer. I want to get right to that question about the social media, sir. When we talk about people coming into the United States, there are obviously a number of questions that they're asked by security officials. Do you think this is really going to make a difference? I mean, I can't imagine if they have malicious intentions that they're going to be divulging information such as this.
Yeah, that's right. This is wishful thinking of a really kind of diluted sort here, that we think individuals who would want to do us harm are going to bother to be honest on government forums about their Twitter or their Facebook. I have no idea, who came up with this idea, but it's not going to change much of anything. And we need to think a little more hardcore about this than just asking people about social media. It's not going to get us much of anything.
I want to get a little bit of your reaction to, obviously, our top news story. The suspect went through France. He traveled by train. When we hear from Italian officials, they say that it was a routine traffic stop, so they didn't necessarily have their eyes on him. How does it,
right.
What does it tell you? Does it tell you that he had perhaps support, that he had people who were helping him, that he had a plan, that he wanted to live after the attack? What does that tell you from an intelligence standpoint?
It speaks to the fact that there clearly was some sort of plan that Mr. Amri probably didn't cook up entirely by himself. There may have been what we'd call an Islamist rat line and an escape route for him. It certainly is a damning indictment of the German police that even though this was the most wanted man in Europe, every police officer in Germany was looking for him. He manages to get 600 miles away, cross several international borders. Obviously, the way the European Union has free movement, the so-called Schengen Agreement, been in place for generations, that's now going to be seriously looked at from a security viewpoint, and I think it has to be. This should, not only should this attack never have happened, this individual should never have been in Germany in the first place, but how do you explain that this massive manhunt, $100,000 euro reward got them absolutely nothing, that, as you said, the Italian police caught him entirely in a little bout of good luck. Luck runs out. Luck is not good enough to go on when you're dealing with mass murderers who want to kill people.
Right. I was reading a report this morning in the Wall Street Journal, so I'll give them credit. There was this trifecta that they noted. They said, first and foremost,
right.
We're seeing poor communication between governments. We're seeing porous borders, obviously a huge talking point that we're seeing this week, but also a lack of biometric data to identify fake IDs. We know that he had 6 aliases. What can we take away from this information? What can we learn moving forward? Because obviously he was moving very freely. Like we just said, we took a train through France.
Yeah, we need better biometric information exchange in the European Union and among all developed countries. But I want to get away from the idea that's going to fix this. Look, Mr. Amri was
can you give me
to
any examples of exactly what that? So what would that look like? Fingerprints, facial recognition. Are we talking about? Was there any surveillance as he traveled through an entire country?
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, there was plenty of surveillance on him before the attack itself. German authorities knew he was talking to known jihadists. They knew he tried to procure weapons illegally for an attack. The problem wasn't lack of intelligence. It was lack of policy follow-through. All the intelligence in the world doesn't save any lives if your policymakers aren't willing to deport people who clearly shouldn't be in the country in the first place. He was a known criminal, spent 4 years in jail in Italy for burning a school down, yet the Germans couldn't get rid of him.
When you talk about deportation, I want to interrupt you because there's another stat. 2015 European Union countries, 533,000 people up for deportation, but only 36% were sent back. So you're saying that there's no follow-through. Perhaps the intentions are there, but there's no follow-through.
Right, and there has to be some sense of a priority given to individuals who are known or suspected jihadists, who are not just, street criminals stealing cars, but want to blow people up. And if you can't make those kind of decisions, put people in there who can. Intelligence is great. Intelligence is my profession. I love it, but we can't get too wrapped around the axle about the notion that merely better information exchange, as good as that is going to fix this problem for Europe or in the long run for the United States. It's not. You have to have the willingness to confront this problem and to deport people who are a serious threat to people's lives. Again, 500,000 people need to be deported from Europe. A tiny, minuscule percentage of those people are on watch lists because they're jihadists. Find them and get rid of them.
As we continue to learn more. John Schindler, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.